Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Murlidhara Radha Murlidhara Radhe. Jaya Radha Murlidhara Radha Murlidhara Radhe. Jaya Gaura Chandra, Gaura Chandra, Gaura Chandra, Jaya Gaura Chandra. Jaya Gaura Chandra, Gaura Chandra, Gaura Chandra, Jaya Gaura Chandra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you, Kishore Gopal Namras. Could we have a round of applause? Musicians and devotees. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Bhakti Center. My name is Kaustubha Das. I know probably most of you, but maybe a few I don't. But I'm very happy to welcome you here tonight. This evening, we have our very special, I guess, guest in one sense, but really he's our family member for all of us. But Radhanath Swami is here tonight. And tonight is just a night of hearing. You know, our Bhakti tradition is a tradition that's based on hearing. And it's one soul's realization and love for God, sharing it with another. This is how we see it's handed down in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadev Goswami speaking to Maharaj Parikshit. And this is what we see in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaking to Arjuna. And it's a in one sense, it's a very simple process, but in another sense, it's a very mystical process. It's something that, it's not an academic process. One becomes qualified to receive this message through how they live. And one becomes qualified to share it through how they live. And so we're so fortunate to have Srila Radhanath Swami here today, because this is a person who has lived the life of a devotee for so many decades, just has sacrificed so much, and has spent that time very carefully hearing receiving the message of bhakti, pondering it, contemplating it, living it, and then sharing it. And so this is the heart of the bhakti practice, and we all get to spend the next hour or two deeply absorbed in it. So let's all appreciate how fortunate we are tonight and really relish this time. I approached Maharaj a few minutes ago and I said, did you have a particular topic that you would like to speak on? He said, I'll speak something on bhakti. So whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be very satisfying. So Maharaj, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Could you please come? Yes. Could we, although it may feel crowded, it'll actually feel even better if we all squeezed up a little bit. So there'll be more people coming, so if everyone could slide up a bit and get cozy. We're all friends here. Keep it coming. Get the wave happen from all the way in the back. There we go. Thank you all so much.
Mokyantimidandasya Gyananjanachalakaya Chakshurun Bilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadati Swapadantikam Bandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutha Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sakrachatam Sahakana Raghunathan Bitham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Bitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sate Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatadubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yasodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Thira Panachari. Jamuna Thira Panachari. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Shri Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya. Radharamana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much for being with us this evening. $7:29, Wednesday, May 9th, 2018. It's the only moment like this for the rest of history. In fact, it's now 7:30, so it's gone. 729 is gone forever for this particular date. That is how precious time is. There's a beautiful verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam that with every rising and setting of the sun, one is one day closer to death. But for those who utilize these precious moments between the sunrise and the sunrise, for cultivating their relationship with the Supreme, with every day we are one day closer to eternal life. That is our free will. The most important choices we have in life are how we utilize each moment. Tatevadu swaratakatim hi Vishnu. If we truly have a goal of life, a sacred spiritual goal, and we orient our words, our actions, our decisions to be in harmony with that goal, then we know we're always going in the best direction. So often in this world today, people do not have an ultimate goal. In fact, sometimes people are afraid of this word ultimate because it's so complete. We have our relative goals. We somehow or other want to lose weight or gain weight. We want to get good grades or get good jobs. In the past, people wanted to be promoted to heavenly worlds. Now we want to be promoted in our jobs. To have certain kind of interactions with people. So we have these relative goals. But as Krishna says, dukalayama shashvatam, by the power of time, with every moment, imperceptibly our life is being taken away from us. When you start getting older, you appreciate that. We realize we really don't have very long to live. Little Prahlad was 5 and he was telling his friends, Komara acharit pragyo dharman bhagavataniha durlabam anusam janma tadapyatruvamartedam. He was speaking this Bhagavad Dharma, this bhakti, this trying to instill within his little 5-year-old friends' hearts that there's a goal in life. There's an ultimate goal of life. And knowing that little children like this is time to study and play. It's not time to talk about ultimate goals. But Prahlad, his response was, this is the time. The younger we have a direction in life, the less of a mess we have to clean up in the future. And he explained it in this way, that we don't know how old we are. Because in one sense, old means close to death. And today we just don't know when it could happen. Life is so precious. Time is so precious. It's like a ship on a stormy sea where the clouds are so much you can't really see the sun or the moon. Srila Prabhupada, our guru, when he was sailing the age of 69 years old on this cargo ship Jaladuta for 38 days from Calcutta to the great city of New York. In the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, he was looking around, and sometimes it was pretty stormy. He said our boat felt like a little matchbox in the middle of this vast ocean where you don't see any land for days and days and days. And in those storms, it's important to have a compass. Then whether it's sunny, nice breeze day, or whether it's terrible storms, we're going in the right direction. The weather really doesn't matter. What matters is we're going the right place. Isn't that what you would think if you're on a ship like that? The weather doesn't matter because there's nothing you can do about it. People like to be controllers. This is the nature of the ahankar, the false ego. We want to be enjoyers, we want to be proprietors, and we want to be controllers. But however much we succeed in those endeavors, it's frustrating because it's unnatural. We're just not controllers. We can be so wealthy, we can have such a high, powerful position, but we can't control what people say about us. I think we've seen these types of things. And we can't control necessarily what the weather is. And even in our efforts, we have very limited control of what the result will be. So somehow the weather cannot be controlled with the thermostat. We think we could do that in our little house, but ultimately if a nuclear bomb falls or if there's a power shortage, we can't even do it there. What to speak, even if we're in the best ship in the world, in the middle of the ocean, when it starts storming outside and the waves get really big, you can't turn a dial to turn the waves down. There's no remote control or cellular satellite app. And there never will be. So peace and happiness can never be sustainable or with any depth if it's determined by the circumstances around us or how we can control the circumstances around us. The Bhagavad Gita teaches that the only true happiness is happiness that we awaken within our own hearts, within our own minds. A truly happy person in whatever situation radiates happiness. A person who's groping to find it outside themselves is destined for frustration. And even that type of happiness they do experience, it's like a little drop of water on a lotus leaf. It comes and it goes. And it's very shallow. apuryamanam achalapratishtam. The Bhagavad Gita tells that if the happiness that we're experiencing within ourselves is the size of a little puddle of water, then anything that comes into that puddle is going to disrupt the puddle. Yes, if you stamp your foot on it, the puddle goes. If you put water on it, if no water comes in it, it'll be affected by any little situation that happens. But the ocean is not affected by those situations. Its water is so much. In the summer season, in India we see the water that's coming from the rivers is little trickles. And in the monsoon rainy season, there's millions of gallons of water pouring into the ocean every minute. The rivers are sometimes several miles wide. But whether it's the rainy monsoons or the summer, the ocean doesn't change because of its own fullness. And Krishna tells in Gita, this is yoga. When we have that fullness within ourselves, then the inevitable changes of dualities, pleasure and pain, happiness and distress, honor and dishonor, loyalty and betrayal, health, disease, success, failure, victory, defeat, heat, cold, they're always going to be coming and going. That's inevitable. But if we have a deep peace, a deep happiness within our hearts, we deal with these situations, but we're not affected by these situations because we're happy. Anandamayo Yashat. It's something we all have in common. We're all looking for happiness, pleasure. Whether one is a little insect, an ant, a cricket, in New York, cockroach. Whether you're a squirrel or a rat. They're similar, but they have different effects on people, on human people. Or whatever our race, or our sex, or our religion, or our nationality, or our occupation, everyone's looking for happiness. And everyone's trying to avoid pain because it interferes with our quest for happiness. So the principle of yoga, the principle of religion, the principle of spirituality is very much built on this question, what is true happiness? Bhagavad Gita teaches that a true mystic, one who is actually intelligent, seeks their happiness within, finds their happiness within, and is illumined and enlightened by that happiness within. And then our life is a life of compassion. Because when we're satisfied within, we don't need stuff. We utilize stuff. And actual happiness on a spiritual platform, it is expressed by sharing with others. Bhakti yoga is finding the deepest, most profound origin of all happiness. And that's love. The heart is always yearning to be loved and to love. In a world where that is frustrated, we seek so many other alternatives. Or we seek so many intentional distractions from the loneliness that's within ourselves, from the boredom, from the shallowness of who we are within. We have to cover it with fame, with prestige, with so many different types of entertainment, or sometimes with drugs and alcohol and other types of intoxications. The root of all these problems from a spiritual perspective, in the Bible, Lord Jesus spoke it so simple. What profited the person if they gain the whole world but lose their eternal self? So this is the universal principle. Who am I? What is the nature of the self? Bhakti means to serve with love. Love means unconditional, unselfish service for the pleasure of the beloved. The living force within us is eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. Satchit Ananda. That's who we are. That's who we'll always be. Nothing can take that away from us. No one can steal it from us. Even death cannot interrupt it. Najayate mriyate va kadachit. That's the nature of the true self. And this body is a temporary, like a vehicle that we're riding around in for some years. In a car, we look through the windshield, we're looking through our eyes. But it's the soul, it's the Atma that's looking through the eyes. We're loving through the heart. We're thinking through our brains. But what are the needs of the soul? The concept of Bhagavan, or the Supreme Being, or God, is the ultimate supreme origin of everything, and more intimately understood as the supreme lover and object of love. If we look at creation, science is wonderful as it reveals to us how intricate, incredible, miraculous, and complex creation is. How the planets in the universe are moving, how they're existing, what they're doing, how the universe is in the creation. And it's equally fascinating trying to understand what's going on among the molecular particles within a cell. Every single cell of our body. It's incredible. We can't understand it. We're just getting glimpses, little deeper, little deeper. The whole idea of good and evil and creation and destruction is just kind of a simple subject matter on the basis of this creation. But the more deeper and relevant science of understanding God is that the greatest of all the powers of the Supreme is his power of love. Surata Sarva Bhutanam, that one Supreme Being is within the heart of every living being. Surata Sarvabhutanam. Intimate, well-wishing friend. Why don't we feel that love for God? It's there always. If you dig a hole a mile underground and choose to stay there, then you don't benefit from the sun, but it's shining just for you. You just have to come out of that hole. And that hole is avidya, it's ignorance. It's forgetfulness. The eternal soul is always in the light of God's love, of Krishna's love. But somehow or other, through our choices, through our decisions, we have just gone deeper and deeper into disconnect and forgetfulness from what's within our own heart. We're so obsessed that I am this body and I am all the designations of this body, and therefore we have to find so much satisfaction and relief from suffering through these bodies. We've simply forgotten that since time immemorial, all wise people, all saintly people, all enlightened people have taught us that true happiness is within, because when we awaken our own spiritual nature, we can experience Krishna's love, God's love. And then we realize our own potential to love. Bhakti is an absorption in the truth that is within each and every one of our hearts, the love that is within each and every one of our hearts. When we connect to even a glimmer of that love, then we don't have greed or envy or anger or selfishness. All those things are just symptoms of disconnection from who we are. And sometimes people who are really motivated by greed and arrogance and anger and selfishness, they become great heroes because they accomplish so much. But from a spiritual perspective, they're really bankrupt of any inner wealth. And as soon as we connect to that wealth within ourselves, we feel sorry for these people. We're not jealous of these people. When we are absorbed in the beauty and the sweetness of Krishna's love, Krishna tells in Gita, at that time we see our beloved everywhere and in everything. You see, bhakti is the absorption of the prem, the love within our hearts. And simultaneously, that love is integrated, inseparable from everything we do, everything we say. There's no disconnection. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Bhumirapo nalo vayu kamano budra evacha ahankara iti ame bina prakritirashtata. That I have expanded through my Prakriti, my energy, this entire cosmic manifestation, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, these 8 material elements, they are my separated energies. When we understand that, we cannot help but seeing and feeling Krishna in all of this energy. The walls, the street, the sky. This body is not me, but this body is God's sacred energy. Not only is this body God's sacred energy, but everyone's body is God's sacred energy. Rasoham apsokonteya prabhashmi shashishuyayo pranava sarvavedushu shabdake purusham drishu. Krishna tells, I am the taste of water. And water is the basic component of everything we drink. Whether it's 7-Up or orange juice or wine. Water's in there. And what gives it its power to quench us, that's Krishna, that's God. Krishna says, I am the sun and the moon, the light. I'm the ability in all people. I'm the intelligence of all people. Because when we see the creation in relation to the Creator, when we see phenomena in relation to the origin of the phenomena, then we actually perceive and experience the presence of the Supreme Lover in everything. Aparayami tashtwanyam prakritim vidime param jiva bhuta mahabhavho yayedam dharayate jagat. And Krishna says, and there's another energy beyond this inferior material energy, and that is the jiva, the living force that gives life wherever there's life. And Krishna is explaining, that is all emanating from me. So we see Krishna in everyone and in everything. The idea of environmentalism. It's inseparable from the concept of bhakti. The idea of respecting all matter as the sacred energy of the Lord. We respect it. We're grateful for it. We don't fight over it. We're not envious about it because we know it's not mine and it's not yours. It's sacred energy that we're entrusted with. If we have a lot of money, we understand this is sacred property I'm entrusted with. If we're absorbed within in this concept, in this experience of love, then we will use our money, we will use our intelligence, we will use our abilities, we will use our resources with compassion. That's where our joy is realized. Because the more you give, the more you acquire the inner resources of spiritual love. And that is never lost. To see the air, to see the earth, to see the water as God's sacred property, which it is, whether we want to recognize it or not. We have gratitude. We need it to live, to survive, and we have respect. It's not there to exploit. It's not there to pollute. It's not there to control. It's there to serve and to be engaged in service. And all living people, in the 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Vidya Vanaya Sampane Brahmani Gabhihastini Sunichaiva Swapakecha Pandita Samadarshana. Wisdom is to see the equality of all beings. Whatever one's race or sex or nationality or social, whatever one's species. Krishna says whether one's a learned priest or a person just living in the forest, whether one is an elephant or a cow or a cat or a dog. To the degree we connect with our own inner essence, we appreciate the sacredness of all life. And we appreciate the sacredness of all matter. That's yoga. And when that connection is through the awakening of the prema, the love within our heart, that is bhakti yoga. And by living with this consciousness, that is the process of awakening that consciousness. It's not that either we have it or we don't have it. We have it. We lost it. But we didn't lose it. But it's still there. But if you forget you have something, it seems like we lost it. If you have $1 million and you forget where you put it, you lost it. But it's still yours. You just have to find it. That's what it is. We just have to find it. It's within ourselves. And the path of bhakti is to live in a spirit of service, to live in a spirit of expressing love and expressing compassion in all that we do. That's the process. When we live in that frequency of consciousness, we connect to that frequency of consciousness within our hearts. I'm not so good with electronics. In fact, I'm miserable. But I'll give a very layman's analogy. Television. Or cell phone, whatever. Somehow or other there's this frequency. And we don't know how to access the frequency. Just like the cell phone of your best friend. Somehow or other, it's in that frequencies in the environment. But can you just, dive into it or try to grasp it like this? You can't do it. But you just dial a certain thing, and it's a physical thing you're doing, but somehow or other, that accesses you to the frequency. Or with television, there's a dial. What does the dial have to do with anything? It's just a physical thing. The frequency's coming, But you have to, in order to access the frequency, you have to dial to the right channel. If you tune into the frequency, you access the frequency. Similarly, if you can't get channel 5, if you turn to channel 105. These days, I think it's like that. When I was young, it went up to 11. And there were only 4 stations within that 11. They couldn't figure out how to fill in all the 11. So similarly, when we live with love, we tune into love. When we think with service, when we learn to cultivate this absorption in bhakti, we tune in to the frequency of that all-pervading grace and love that's everywhere and in everything, but we can't access it until we tune into it within our own hearts. And what Kostuba, our dear mentor and leader of one of the great leaders of the Bhakti Center, where he was saying by this hearing process, by this chanting of these beautiful mantras, these holy names, by this types of puja, we're tuning into that frequency of ecstatic love that's eternal within our hearts. And as we tune in through our sadhana, our spiritual practice, and we tune in by by connecting our spiritual practice with the character in which we live within this world. Then we realize that inherently, even in the ugliest things, there's something very beautiful. The ugly things of this world are always coming and going. But inherently, behind it all, there's something beautiful. There's God's love. He wants to share it with everyone. But somehow or other, when we cover it within ourselves and we're covered, then naturally our tendency is to cover it all over the world and in other people. The concept of hate, the concept of envy, the concept of prejudice against certain types of beings because of their differences from us is all a product of the false ego, of ignorance of our true self. They cannot exist in a pure heart. It is important that we're eager, that we're, as a hungry person is eager to eat, or a thirsty person is eager to drink, or a greedy person is eager for money, or a power-hungry person is eager for control and power over others, or a New York Yankee fan is eager to go to Yankee Stadium. Or a lover is eager to be with beloved. There are so many things we're eager for in this world. Absorption is when we're eager to serve God, eager to be an instrument of God's grace, eager to chant the names of God, eager to hear the glories of the Lord, eager to share that with others. Lord Chaitanya is a great incarnation of Krishna, of the Supreme Being, who appeared about 500 years ago. He taught us by his words, by his example, and by those who were connected to him. He played the role of a devotee to teach us what devotion means. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches us what is devotion, what is yoga, what is enlightenment, what is the highest goal we can strive for in our life, and how to achieve it. And then Krishna came again to demonstrate how to follow the Bhagavad Gita. So one day Lord Chaitanya was in this temple called Jagannath, in a holy place, Puri. It's still there today, almost exactly as it was when he was there. And in the temple, one day, there was thousands and thousands and thousands of people coming in to have darshan of the beautiful Lord on the altar. Lord Chaitanya was way in the back of the temple, where there was a pillar called Garuda Stamba. The Garuda Stamba is a very sacred pillar because Garuda is on top, and he's considered to be a very divine person, a very enlightened person. So Lord Chaitanya was totally absorbed in remembering the Lord and seeing the Lord and offering his heart to the Lord as all these people were in front of him. He didn't even notice them. But there was this little lady from Orissa. She wasn't educated, she wasn't wealthy, she wasn't known. She was just a simple little lady. She couldn't see the altar because she was small and all these thousands of people were in front of her. She was so eager to see Jagannath that she crawled up Lord Chaitanya's body. And then she crawled up the Garuda Stamba, the pillar. And she had one foot on the pillar, and she was holding on to the pillar, and she had one of her feet on top of Lord Chaitanya's shoulder. And she's gazing so happily. Lord Chaitanya's assistant, Govinda, saw this, was horrified. How could she do this? This is Garuda, the sacred pillar. Her feet are on it. And this is Lord Chaitanya, Krishna himself in this world. And she's standing on top of him. And so he arranged for her to come down. Very nicely, very respectfully. But when she came down, and she was an old lady, the kind of old lady that nobody in the world notices, because she's, just like, probably doesn't have a home. She's just a simple widow lady. When she didn't know that she was standing on the Lord, she was just so eager. When she realized what she had done, she bowed to the feet of Lord Chaitanya and begged and begged and begged for forgiveness. May I tell you Lord Chaitanya's response? Please listen carefully. It's a very good message. He chastised Govinda, his servant. He said, "You are an uncivilized man. Why did you disturb her absorption in seeing Lord Jagannath? Why did you disrupt her eagerness to be with the Lord?" And then Lord Chaitanya out loud began to pray. He said, "Lord Jagannath, I don't even have a trace of the eagerness to serve you and to love you and to see you as this old lady does. She has totally absorbed her body, her mind, and her life in her total eagerness to see you and to serve you, to love you. So much so, she didn't even know she was standing on top of me." And then Lord Chaitanya prayed prayed to the old lady. He said, oh, I pray at the feet, and I beg at the feet of this woman that she could bless me with the eagerness that she has to serve the Lord. Eagerness is not something we either have or don't have. It's something to be cultivated. One time, a devotee asked my beloved Guru, Srila Prabhupada, what if I don't feel any enthusiasm for bhakti? Enthusiasm to chant, enthusiasm to hear, enthusiastic to serve, enthusiastic to absorb and meditate. It's very good special effects to it's helping us to understand the urgency of his answer. Srila Prabhupada said, if you don't feel enthusiastic, what is the remedy? Act enthusiastic. Because enthusiasm really, it's a gift. And if we're sincere, it's given to us. If you go to a restaurant and the waitress is there, and she comes to the table and you order something and she's just not enthusiastic that day, she said, I don't care what you have. You ask, what's the best thing on the menu today? She said, I don't like any of it. And I just don't give a care what you have. Just leave me alone. I'm just here for the money. Get it over with. She's not very enthusiastic. And she'll lose her job too. But even if she feels the same way, if she wants to keep her job, she'll go, oh, I'm so happy to see you. And everything's so good today, and I'm so enthusiastic. What would you like? I'm here to make you happy. I'm here to serve you. If we act enthusiastic when we're not enthusiastic for some money, can't we do that for the ultimate perfection of life, to serve God? Students work so hard, even if they don't want to do it, to study for their exams. Can't we work hard to study for our final exam? Enthusiasm is important. The Bhakti Center is an attempt to share this culture, a timeless culture of devotion, and how to integrate that devotion in every aspect of our lives, through our inner meditations, through our congregational chanting, through our relationships with each other, through our relationships with nature, with the world. And whatever may come in this world, and whatever may go in this world, we keep the compass of our goal in life always focused on the most beautiful, the most wonderful of all truths. Krishna tells in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when you thus know the truth, you understand that all things and all living beings are in me and of me and are mine. Thank you very much. I think I made you very tired because your clapping sounds like sleeping people. I'm just trying to remind you that we should be enthusiastic. It's not for me, it's for the message. If we're grateful, we're enthusiastic to express our gratitude. And that should be with each other in all of our interactions, with all the gifts that we have. Sometimes they're gifts we like, sometimes they're gifts we don't like. But we're grateful for the opportunity to grow and to come closer to God. And so many times in the hardships and the difficulties of life, they help us to really tune in. Because we feel a sense of necessity. Kirtan is the most blissful, the most powerful, the most effective way of tuning in to that divine energy within us and all around us, of Krishna's love. And not only does it tune us in, but it simultaneously, it radiates that frequency from all of our combined hearts throughout the world, throughout the universe, throughout the creation. The purpose of kirtan is Cheto Darpana Marjanam. It purifies the heart, uncovers the true treasure of love within us, of compassion within us. To share that is the greatest benediction in all the world. So let us please very enthusiastically absorb ourselves in kirtan. We have His Grace Nam Ras Prabhu, who's going to be playing the mridanga. And he's really enthusiastic. Especially since about a month ago he had a little baby. Well, his wife had the baby, but Tulsi Devi, but they had a baby. And they're fully conscious that that little baby is God's gift to them, Krishna's gift to them. And they're caretakers of that gift. To raise that child with Krishna's love, with enthusiasm. It's a beautiful experience. So he'll be playing mridanga, and all of us, let us be very, very absorbed in hearing this divine vibration that purifies the heart, cleanses the mind, and awakens our true purpose. And let us, when we chant with great feeling, humility. Let us take shelter, absorb ourselves in taking shelter of this divine mantra, and chant very loudly also. Soft chanting meditation at the Bhakti Center, we do for a couple hours every day. But this kirtan, where we're chanting together loudly, sometimes dancing, which hopefully you may choose to do also. We're just giving our everything to express our love and our gratitude to Krishna. Thank you. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You sound very sleepy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You're even making me feel sleepy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hari Rama, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari. Please raise your arms very high. In a mood of offering our body, our minds, our hearts, our lives for the ultimate benefit of all beings. It's an offering to God. Very loudly together, with one voice, with one heart, let us sing. Everyone, please. Hare Krishna, Hare One more time, please. With heartfelt enthusiasm. Many millions of times louder. Everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Just one more time. Let us release all of our anxieties, our frustrations, our attachments, and joyfully call out for grace to shower upon the world. Tens of millions of times louder, please, everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Hari Bol.
you so much, Radhanath Swami. Such a wonderful evening. You know, all the wisdom that he was sharing is the same wisdom that's been handed down for thousands and thousands of years, and he's just tweaking it slightly so that we can understand it better, but that same nourishing message is so satisfying. Please keep in mind, Thursday night kirtan, Sunday, May 13th. One day, yoga retreat. Obviously, you all want to be there. Radhanath Swami, Raghunath, Janavi, and so many others will be there. Please go to our website. On our homepage, you can find that one-day retreat. I really suggest all of you try to come to that. And next Tuesday, we'll be doing the same thing with Radhanath Swami here. Tuesday, not Wednesday, Tuesday. We'll be doing that again here, so please all come. Prasadam is in the back. And if you would like to volunteer to help clean up tonight and do some seva, you can find a wonderful person there who has his hand up. He's waving at Karun Nimai, 2 hands waving. Find that handsome gentleman over there and volunteer your services. Thank you all so much for coming tonight, and we'll see you all soon. Hare Krishna.